When Ryan married Claire, he believed honesty was the strongest foundation a relationship could have. They met during graduate school, where Ryan studied engineering while Claire pursued psychology. She had always been fascinated by human behavior, often saying that every relationship followed invisible patterns waiting to be understood. Ryan admired her curiosity. Claire admired his stability. For 6 years, they built a peaceful marriage. Ryan worked long hours designing bridges, while Claire became a licensed relationship coach, helping struggling couples repair broken communication and rebuild trust. She was good at it. Very good. People often thanked her for saving their marriages. Ryan couldn't have been prouder. When Claire suggested introducing some of the same communication exercises into their own marriage, Ryan happily agreed. "It'll make us even stronger," she said. Every week brought a new exercise. One week she asked him to stop texting first. Another week she intentionally ignored his calls to study emotional responses. Sometimes she asked unusual questions before quietly writing notes inside a leather journal. Ryan laughed it off. "You really do bring your work home." She smiled. Occupational hazard. Months passed. Their conversations became less natural. Every disagreement seemed strangely rehearsed, as if Claire was observing instead of participating. Whenever Ryan expressed concern, she reassured him. "It's just marriage coaching." He believed her. Until one afternoon he visited her office to surprise her with lunch. Claire wasn't there. Her assistant apologized. "She's running late with today's research group." Ryan frowned. "Research group?" The assistant froze. Realizing she had said too much, Ryan left carrying untouched sandwiches and a question that refused to leave his mind. That evening Ryan asked Claire about the research group. She hesitated, then smiled too quickly. "You misunderstood." But something in her expression felt unfamiliar. Over the following weeks Ryan quietly paid attention. He noticed hidden folders labeled Case R. He found questionnaires filled out in his own handwriting. There were recordings of conversations he didn't remember consenting to. Claire dismissed every concern. "They're anonymous coaching materials." Ryan wanted to trust her. Yet every answer created more questions. One Friday, Claire left her laptop open while answering a phone call. Ryan wasn't searching for secrets, but one document caught his attention. Behavioral Response Analysis. Subject: Ryan Carter. His heart stopped. He opened the file. Inside were months of observations, emotional reactions, stress levels, conflict responses. Even private arguments had been scored and analyzed. One sentence shattered him. Subject remains unaware that intervention methods are being tested. Ryan stared at the screen in disbelief. Subject: not husband. Subject. Claire walked back into the room. The color drained from her face. "I can explain." Ryan slowly closed the laptop. "Were you ever trying to save our marriage?" His voice trembled. "Or were you only studying me?" Claire burst into tears. "It started as research. And then I didn't know how to stop." Everything suddenly made sense. The strange exercises, the emotional distance, the notebook, the carefully planned conflicts. Ryan realized the worst part wasn't being observed. It was discovering that the woman he trusted most had slowly stopped seeing him as a partner. She saw him as data. Ryan moved into a small apartment across town. For weeks he ignored Claire's calls. Every memory now carried doubt. Had their happiest moments been genuine? Or carefully designed experiments? Claire withdrew from her coaching practice. The research project was immediately suspended after Ryan filed a formal ethics complaint with the university overseeing her study. Investigators discovered several serious violations. Participants had never given informed consent. Personal relationships had been used as research material. Claire lost the study she had spent years building. But losing her career wasn't what hurt most. She had lost Ryan's trust. One evening she asked to meet him at the park where they had shared their first date. Ryan agreed. Not to reconcile. To understand. Claire arrived carrying the same leather journal. She handed it to him. "I want you to have it." Inside weren't only research notes. The final pages contained handwritten confessions. "I stopped writing about my husband. I started writing about a stranger because admitting my mistake became too painful. I forgot love cannot survive observation without honesty. Ryan quietly closed the journal. You were so focused on understanding human behavior. He looked into her tear-filled eyes. That you forgot to simply love the human standing beside you. Claire cried silently. She didn't argue. Because every word was true. They walked away separately. Neither looked back. Some endings happen with shouting. Others happen with heartbreaking acceptance. Nearly 2 years passed. Ryan rebuilt his life slowly. Therapy helped him understand that betrayal isn't always physical. Sometimes it's the quiet destruction of trust. He eventually began volunteering at a community center teaching engineering workshops to teenagers. Helping others gave him peace. Claire never returned to marriage coaching. Instead, she accepted a position teaching professional ethics to psychology students. On the first day of every semester, she shared one lesson. Never value your research more than the people who trust you. She never explained why. She didn't have to. One spring afternoon, Ryan unexpectedly attended a public lecture where Claire was speaking. Their eyes met across the room. There was no bitterness. Only respect for the difficult lessons they had both survived. After the lecture, she approached him. I'm finally learning the difference between understanding people. She smiled sadly. And appreciating them. Ryan nodded. I hope you're happy. I hope you are too. For the first time in years, neither of them carried anger. Only gratitude for the growth that pain had forced upon them. Love isn't meant to be measured with charts, experiments, or carefully recorded observations. It grows through honesty. It survives through trust. And once trust is treated like an experiment instead of a promise, even the deepest love can quietly disappear. Sometimes the greatest discovery isn't found inside research. It's realizing that the people closest to us should never become projects to fix, study, or control. They should simply be loved.